Hi, everyone.
Hi there, we're back.
We are back. Oh, do we know what we're talking about today? Dream big.
Yeah.
Today, totally blanked.
What are we talking about? We don't even know. Yes, we do.
Today is your day to dream big.
Dream big. Not huge. Small. Big. As big as you can.
Yeah. We've been talking about this a lot lately because we have come up with some pretty huge dreams for 2017. And along with the dreams comes a little bit of fear and doubt and uncertainty. And so we felt like if that's what we're going through, you're probably going through the same thing as you approach the new year.
Right. A lot of times in December, people will take stock, right? And be like, oh, where was I? Where have I come? And where am I going? And what I've noticed about myself in the past was that I would not dream big. I would dream medium or small, because then I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be let down. I wouldn't feel bad if I didn't get to my dreams. But last year I decided to dream big. And I wrote down all this stuff about what I wanted. And then we just read it before the show. And we read it and we're like, oh, this is just like my life now.
Yeah. It's like I was just reading about her day.
Yeah.
And it was like the perfect day a year ago.
A year ago it felt like that was
a huge dream.
The most incredible thing that could ever happen was that I would have a clean house and my kids would be happy and my husband and I would be connected and I'd be doing work that I love doing. And now I'm like, oh, that's just my life.
It's so awesome. And I think what Saira did is she gave herself time. So she created this dream. Like she first of all was really honest with herself about what do I really want? If I could have anything in the world, what would I choose? Then she wrote it out, which is also a really important step because that keeps it solidified. Like that makes it real, right? For yourself. And then she waited and she didn't stress about, it wasn't like she was going back to her list every single day and saying, okay, how do I make this thing happen? Because if you do that, you're never going to get there because you can't make stuff happen. Stuff just happens when you relax and allow yourself to feel worthwhile enough for that stuff to happen, right? You have to feel worthy.
Right.
Because if you don't feel worthy, even when it comes to you, you're not going to believe it.
Right.
You're going to have that wall of doubt.
That's such a big one, that worthiness. And it's so insidious, right? Like it'll just sneak in inside of you, be like, you don't deserve that. Exactly. Other people might be smart enough, brave enough, happy enough to have that, but not you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then she waited and she just allowed good things to happen to her. And that's what we work on, right? That's, I think, our biggest work.
The allowing.
It's allowing good things to happen because there's nothing that we can do to make a miracle happen except for sit back, allow it to happen, recognize that we're worthy, and appreciate it when it comes.
The vision, the image that comes to my mind is like, it's this beautiful sunny day and you're like hanging out under a shady tree and you're like, geez, why am I not getting a tan? Everyone else out there seems to be enjoying the sunshine, but I'm just not enjoying that sunshine. And it's like, well, maybe if you stop standing in the shadows of the trees and get out here on the beach with the rest of us, you can have some fun. And I think sometimes we stop ourselves from just being happy and just joining the party because we think that life has to be hard and it has to be a struggle and that, we can't really get to our big goals, so we might as well just hang out and watch everybody else succeed. But that's a mistake.
Or sometimes we have big goals and we think that other people have the answers. Like I've bought into different programs and things like that over the years for business because I felt like this person figured it out. They're making tons of money. So let me just do what they say that I should do and then I'll make it. But it didn't come from me, right? The people that have made it have paved their own path. They've believed in themselves enough to do something different.
Right.
They haven't just followed some kind of cookie cutter routine, right?
And then, but often they'll sell that, right?
They'll sell it to you.
They'll be like, this is my path, and if you just do it my way, you will also have everything I have. But what I found was okay, so for example, this online course, right? I've been thinking, I should really launch an online course. So then I started looking at it, reading about it, and thinking, okay, so these are the steps, and this is what I have to do. And then I started doing it, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not fun at all, making this online course.
Yes.
Not fun.
And if you're not having fun, it's never going to go anywhere. It won't.
Because I'm writing the thing and I'm like, so probably the people reading it, if I ever pitched it, would be like, ooh, why does this smell like, it smells like vomit. What's wrong with this? Right? They can feel the energy of the creative process. And it wasn't a creative process. It was just trying to follow some formula, some script that was not my own.
And we only try following other people's scripts when we don't think that we have the answers ourselves.
Right.
And I think when you have a big dream, it's really important to know that not only are you worthy of having that dream come to you, but you already have all the answers. You don't need to do another thing to make yourself worthy enough to be able to create something that you want to create.
Take another course, read another book.
Exactly.
Right?
You don't need that other designation. You just need to know that you have the answers and follow your own gut, right? And just, I think that the only work really is talking yourself into feeling good. Because when you feel good, you're creative, you're open, you're allowing, right? That's all you need.
I keep getting, so this morning on the radio, it's Christmas time, right? So we're hearing, our radio station has turned into like all Christmas all the time.
103.5?
Yes. I love that station. I could find another one, but no, all Christmas all the time. So this morning, I'm listening to the radio and they're like, Santa Claus coming to town. And I was listening, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I think that's the Jackson 5. And then I looked and it was.
Cool.
And I was thinking about, child stars like Michael Jackson, really young and singing. But, whenever you see him perform, like when you look at videos of him performing when he was a kid, he was having a blast.
Yes.
Right? I don't think that 5-year-old was faking it. Maybe as performers get older and then it becomes a performance. But when you look at really young children doing what they love, it's just a celebration, right? And I think somehow along the line that gets like taken away from us, or we're told that, if it's that much fun, then, something's wrong.
Something's wrong. Yeah, you're not supposed to have fun as an adult, because if you have fun, you're not being responsible. You're doing all the things that you're supposed to do.
Right.
You're not being an adult. Who wants to be an adult? I don't.
I don't.
I want to feel like a kid.
I don't want to be an adult if it's going to be like no fun and no connection and no happiness.
Exactly.
But so many adults are walking around with these like medium goals, being unhappy.
But the people that are really succeeding are having a great time.
They're having so much fun.
They're having so
We are having so much fun.
We're having so much fun,
right?
Yeah. But then again, so this was a big dream of ours, right? When we first met, I think it was just a few months later that we kind of realized that we wanted to do a talk show. It was a huge dream. And then we just sort of made it happen. We just started. Right? Like one day we're like, well, let's just do this.
I think I was like I think the first episode I was like in my gym clothes or something.
Yeah. And I had just come over for a meeting. Like we were going to talk about our big dream, but then we just decided to do it. Right?
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. But now we're stepping even further. We're creating more dreams. And that's what happens, right? Your big dreams turn into bigger dreams and bigger dreams and bigger dreams. And as the stakes get higher, sometimes it can feel really scary. It can feel really like, do I deserve to be this happy? Like, do I deserve to make money doing what I love to do? Or am I supposed to just be a starving artist? Like, am I supposed to struggle? Is that the price of happiness? Or can I have everything?
And then is it going to come crashing down? I've created this beautiful thing, but, I didn't really work that hard for it. So it's not really, I didn't put in that hard effort. So therefore it's going to come tumbling down, right?
Yeah.
Or the people around me are going to be angry with me. They're going to, because, it came so easy.
Because I'm not really working and I have everything that I want. Yikes.
They're going to judge me and they're going to think I'm faking. Oh, what about being a fake or a fraud? Have you ever had that feeling?
Not recently.
Me too. But in the past.
In the past,
right, I would have these feelings like I'd be up on stage giving a talk to like, I remember once I was talking to like 550 women at this Valentine's Day thing. I was actually flown. I was flown to Texas to give this talk.
Cool.
And I'm talking, and I'm up there, and it was called Live, Love, Thrive All the Way to 95. And it was about 95. I'm like, that's a fair age, right? Because there was women of all ages there, and we were talking about being an immigrant woman and what it means.
Oh, I thought you meant to 1995. I thought this was in like 94.
When I was like 12 years old. All the way to age 95. Okay. This is in the 2000s and something.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we were talking about, being an immigrant woman and what it takes to like thrive through those challenges and whatever. And I remember standing up there feeling like a fraud. Feeling like they're gonna see that I'm not really an immigrant. But I guess I am. But okay, they're gonna see that I'm not really that smart. Oh, yeah, okay, maybe. Okay, they're gonna see that something.
You were just sabotaging yourself.
I was trying to find some reason to tell myself that they're gonna see through the act into who I really am, which is, small and insignificant and unimportant. But I think we all kind of feel that way at times, right?
Yeah, I was just talking to her about that this morning. Not about feeling like a fraud, but feeling like not important enough or not worthy enough to have all of your dreams come true. You know, when we look at other people, we think that that's what we want. We want this like huge life. We want to be famous. We want to be whatever. We want what they have. But when we start to get close to it, it's really scary, right? So today we're talking about how do we stop feeling so scared? How do we recognize that really there's nothing to be scared of and be okay with having a great life? You know, how do we be okay with, first of all, I think accepting your life the way that it is and appreciating it, and also knowing that you're meant for more. Also knowing that there's more coming to you and allowing that into your experience without freaking out. Which is what so many of us do.
What I often tell my couple, like when people come to me and they're having relationship problems, I'll say the mantra that I want you to repeat for the next week is this or something better. This or something better. So accepting this the way it is right now and knowing that there's room for something better.
Yeah.
Right? And something better may mean that your relationship transforms with this person, or it may mean that this is not the relationship for you and you move on to someone better.
Yeah.
Right? But being okay with things the way they are right now, this or something better.
And it's like, I love that mantra, by the way, this or something better. That's really good. It's like so we listen to Abraham Hicks quite a bit, and Abraham always says that when you want to allow things into your life, you have to recognize what side of the coin you're looking at. So are you looking at what you want, or are you looking at the lack of what you want?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So when you're thinking about success, let's say you have a big dream for something, are you thinking about success and feeling bad because you don't have it yet? Or are you thinking about success and feeling eager and excited to see what is going to happen? And knowing also that you already are successful, right? So knowing that even if you're thinking about, you know, body image or relationships, you want your relationship to improve. So you have to look at what you actually appreciate about your relationship right now. And also know that this is what you want and you're excited about getting that. And sometimes that can mean ditching your partner and finding someone new.
Right.
But appreciating it is the first step.
Right. And so the other piece of that is, I think we talked about this in one of our early episodes about the green-eyed monster, killing the green-eyed monster, is that being able to see other people who have what you want through the lens of like appreciation, a celebration, rather than through envy and like, oh, well, how come they got that? Because what happens is, say if I look at somebody else out there who has something I want, and if I'm judging them, there's a part of me that will always put a barrier up between me and that thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't want to be, if I'm judging, you know, happy people because I think they're shallow. I hear that sometimes, hey? Like, oh, you're so happy, but you don't actually know what's really going on in the world, right? You're shallow or you don't pay attention.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I pay attention. I just choose what I want to pay attention to. I look for the opportunities for hope in these devastating stories rather than getting devastated with everybody else.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And so if we tell ourselves that, oh, happy people are shallow, then you'll never have happiness because you don't want to be shallow.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to own back those judgments we have about people who have what we want.
Yeah, this reminds me of, so my niece, she's almost 10, and she's obsessed with Harry Potter. Everything Harry Potter.
Harry Potter? Oh,
Yeah.
the Hufflepuff? Are you going to tell the Hufflepuff story?
Yeah, did I tell you this story?
One time. Tell it again. It's so good. We know each other now, Jena. We're reading each other's minds.
Well, this Hufflepuff thing has been going on for a while. So a couple days ago on the phone.
Oh, no, you haven't told me since then.
Yeah, so I was listening to her talk to my mom on the phone. They were on FaceTime together, and she was telling my mom all about this quiz that she took online on the Pottermore website about what house are you in, right? So,
there's a quiz?
Yeah.
Oh, we should
So Gryffindors are brave. Slytherins are sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Hufflepuffs are happy. And Ravenclaws are wise.
Okay.
Right? So she took the quiz herself, but she was categorizing every person in my family. Like, oh, this person is this and this person is this. And I remember once she asked me, what house are you in? And of course, everybody wants to be a Gryffindor. Yeah. Right? Harry's a Gryffindor.
Hermione, be a Gryffindor. Ron, all the cool people.
They're all Gryffindors.
They all have the adventures, right?
Yeah. So I told her, I think I'm a Gryffindor. And she's like, I think you're a Hufflepuff. You're always smiling. And I was like, really offended. Because I was like, you don't even know how brave I've had to be in my life. I've moved to cities without a place knowing where I'm going to live in the middle of winter. I moved to Montreal. It was like January 1st or something. I moved to Montreal, had no apartment lined up. I just moved there on a whim.
Hufflepuff.
And I was like, a Hufflepuff would do that? I was deeply offended.
She's like, la la la, everything will be fine. Here I am in the snow. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yes. That also takes courage. Right? To be happy and to chase your dreams takes a buttload of courage.
Mm-hmm. And especially when everything around you, the people, the media, the environment, everybody, the culture tells you that's not smart. To be so right? Happy. It's not okay to be happy. It's not okay to be fulfilled. Something's going to go wrong if things are too good. Right? Like we have all of these narratives about things are good and then things are bad. Look at every single romantic comedy you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Starts out, things are going good, starting good, and then something goes wrong.
Horribly wrong.
Yeah. But then hopefully they're happily ever after in the end.
Yeah.
But then we all kind of think, nah, but, that's just for the movies. Happily ever after doesn't really happen. Right? So there's a good part, then there's a bad part, then it stays bad. That's how we're living our life. And it's so unnecessary.
And I think I've said this before in one of our episodes, but I used to always feel like at the lowest of low, that's when some savior would come and like rescue me. Like my Prince Charming would show up and, pull me out of the depths of depression and I'd be like so happy suddenly. And I would just wait around for it. And I was like, nobody's coming to save me.
Like, I'm going to have to...
You have to save yourself, right?
And I think there's a way of saying that. So I had a conversation with a friend a few years ago and he was in like a really dark place and, he was bankrupt and like a lot of things were going bad in his life. And he said, you know what? No one's going to save me. I'm going to have to save myself. And it was from such a place of like venom, like blaming the world for his, and
then feeling alone.
And then feeling so lonely, right? Rather than, wait a minute, I'm the one who has the power over my life. Other people can try to have power over me. I can give my power away, but at the end of the day, I can take it back and I can say, this is my life. And I'm not waiting around for someone else to come. It's all in the way that you say it.
So maybe it's not so much you have to save yourself; it's that you can save yourself. You
can, and you're the only one who can. You're the
only one who can.
Yeah.
And, we've been talking about that a lot, is that the most important relationship, I used to think, we were talking about school, and I was saying that wouldn't it be great if we learned how to be happy in school? And I remember years ago when I was doing my master's in marriage and family therapy, because I was thinking a lot about relationships at that time, and I used to think we should really have a relationship course in school because people don't know how to be in relationship with each other in a way that's productive and effective and makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. But now I'm starting to realize that the most important relationship that any one of us has is with ourselves. When you can feel good about yourself, when you can feel confident and like there's nothing to fear, and when you have that faith that everything's going to be okay, that's the most important relationship. When you can feel scared and then check in with yourself and realize that you don't have to be scared, that's the most important relationship, because then everything else follows course. It follows that relationship.
It's almost like if you can't be kind to yourself, there's no way you're going to be able to be kind to anybody else.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you're kind to other people but not to yourself,
what's the point?
Exactly.
What's the point? Then it's superficial, right? It's like it's on the outside, but you're not actually living it. I notice that with children, right? So children, there's a certain age that kids get to where they start saying stuff that they hear and they don't really know what it means. Did that happen with your niece and nephew?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, when they got to that age and then they start saying like random stuff and they don't really know what it means, but they know it gets a reaction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Poopy head. Oh, I had to say that. So what's neat about that phase of development is that we're kind of looking for social cues, right? So if I say this, how are people around me going to respond? But so if you respond, if every time the child says poopy head, everybody bursts into laughter, that's one response. If the child says poopy head and he gets a smack across the face, that's a very different response.
Yeah.
And however we respond to children as they're testing is how they're going to internalize themselves, not the word.
Yeah.
I am funny because I said this. Yes. Or I am bad because I said this. Yeah. Not the word is funny or the word is bad.
Wow.
Right? Because of how the mind is forming at that time. And so all of us have had these kind of experiences when we're really young where people have reacted to us and we've thought, I am something. And so as you're setting a big goal, it's so important to reevaluate that and really ask yourself again, like today, in this moment in time, am I that? Do I still believe that about myself? Is that still true about me? Am I bad? Am I, a failure? Am I a disappointment? Or am I ambitious? Am I courageous? Am I something else? And not waiting for those other people out there to tell you who you are, but tell yourself.
Yeah. And if you notice that there's a quality that you have a real struggle with, that you sort of think maybe you are that way and it's not something that you want, that's the point in time when don't dwell on that quality. Don't say, okay, well, like for me, importance is huge because I'm the youngest of 4 and I've always it's always been like, oh, this is so exciting when the oldest person does it. And then it's like, when you get to the fourth, it's like not that exciting anymore. Like, oh, great, you're walking.
She's walking.
Cool.
Who cares? Yeah.
Although my parents were really good about it, but you just feel like, oh, everyone else is already doing that, so I'm just catching up.
Right.
It's not like I'm doing something special. I'm just catching up to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for me, that's something that I always have to check in with myself. And if I dwell too much on the feeling of unimportance, then I start to go deeper and deeper into it. Right? So when you have a feeling that you don't want to be this specific quality and you're starting to think about it, immediately think about the flip side. If I don't want to be unimportant, what do I want to be? Well, I want to be worthy. I want to be special. I want to be
valued.
Right? Yeah. And then you start thinking about that quality. And the more you think about what it is that you want and you really feel into it, the more you actually start to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I think to myself, yeah, what if I could be valuable? What if I could be special? What if I could be important? You know, when I start to feel that, I actually start feeling important. And it takes about a minute. Like, I'm already feeling more important than just talking to the conversation.
Well, and the reason that we're talking about feelings and goals is that if you don't have emotional alignment, then you don't actually reach your goals. Or you reach your goals, but you don't get the... So, for example, we all set goals, right? Like, okay, I have a goal this year to earn this much amount of money, or to, take this many holidays, or to get fit, or whatever. We have a goal. And what happens is that if I'm feeling bad every single step along the way to that goal, when I reach the goal, do you think I'm going to all of a sudden feel good? No. The feeling state has to be on every single step along the way to the goal. And did I ever tell you about my PhD graduation story?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So the story is, I did my undergrad, completed that, did my master's, completed that, went to get my PhD, completed the PhD, and it was so intense. So that I was in London doing a course, and I had to actually fly overnight to California to do my graduation ceremony, graduated with my PhD, and then flew back to London to write the final exam and graduate from this other course. Like, talk about an overachiever, right? Like, intercontinental graduations, like, 2 days, 48 hours, 2 grads. Yeah. It's crazy. But what was interesting was that in the first graduation, I remember getting up on stage and the ceremony, they're doing the ceremony, and I just didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like I was hoping I would feel when I achieved this big goal. And part of that was because along the way to the goal, I wasn't actually thinking about why I wanted to feel. Like, could I feel happy with or without the degree? Could I feel important with or without the degree? Could I feel intelligent with or without the degree? Could I feel valuable and knowledgeable with or without the degree? And I had spent so much time putting other people's accolades as more important than my own, that other people out there will be able to call me doctor. And so that's more important than my own feeling. So when I got there, it was a huge disappointment. Yeah. Right? So
and how did you work through that?
Well, I actually took like a month.
Yeah.
Right? And just like did a lot of self-reflection, like cried a lot because I felt so disappointed. And then I completely shifted gears because a month after I graduated, I started planning my wedding.
Oh, okay.
Right? So I was engaged. I started planning my wedding. I got married. I went on my honeymoon. So all of a sudden my direction and my changed into something that I was really actually happy about. Really. And to me, like, finding the love of my life, that was a huge achievement. I felt so proud of myself for that. I felt like, I've got to be like attracting the right things. I've got to be in this great state that this person showed up in my life out of like literally thin air, like literally an internet connection, and we found each other, right? Like just out of nowhere. And so that's where so instead of dwelling on feeling bad about the career stuff, I shifted to feeling good about the relationship stuff.
And that's so important. When you're feeling bad about one area of your life, instead of forcing yourself to feel better about that specific area, you have to switch focus. Because you can't force yourself into alignment for something that you're not ready for. But if you start thinking about all the other great things in your life and you start really putting your attention on the things that are working, everything else catches up. It just does naturally. We don't have to be so focused on one specific thing for it to happen.
Right.
If there's something that you're really stressed about, you don't need to focus on that stress, because if you're stressed about that, it's going to spill over into all the other aspects of your life. But if you're focused on what's going well, that's going to spill over onto all the other aspects of your life. Right.
And I noticed, like, if I think back now, probably like I graduated and then I got married and then I had a baby. And it was after that first baby was about 2.5, 3 that I actually started focusing on my career.
Yeah.
Right? So it took about 5 years after graduation to actually dive in. Like, I was still seeing clients, I was still doing stuff, but I wasn't really in it. I wasn't really excited about it. And then fast forward 5 more years and we're here now, right? We're like, now it's like a whole different kind of belief about what's possible with this degree, right? Yeah. I don't have to just be teaching at the university. Like I could be like on a YouTube show or doing all this other really fun stuff, right? That's not so like academic and like dusty, you know?
And when, just like what you were saying before, when you're having fun, things just start to work. Right? They just start to work. The happiness has to come first. So if you have a big goal and you are daring to dream big, make happiness the first and most important step throughout the process. It has to come first. Mm-hmm. In fact, when I'm thinking about it, sometimes when I'm thinking about my big goals, I get a little overwhelmed. And because it's true, there have been times in my life when I've had really big goals and they haven't come true. And I'm like, oh. But it's because I was, until the last about 6 months, I was never focused on happiness. Mm. And in the last 6 months, all of my big goals are starting to come true. Like I'm seeing snippets of them really materializing because I've chosen to be happy, right? But that is the first step. So what I was saying is that what I've been thinking lately is instead of thinking so much about the big goal coming true, being the manifestation, like, oh, I'm going to make this big goal come true. What if the manifestation was that happy, high feeling? Mm-hmm. You know that feeling when you're just on top of the world? Mm-hmm. What if that was the manifestation? And after that, who cares what happens, right? Because if you're happy, everything else just flows to you.
Right.
So what if that was the goal?
And you're when I'm happy, I'm like everything becomes a celebration.
Everything,
every little thing. Like my freaking carrot soup recipe that I found online becomes like, wow, I have this amazing recipe.
Yeah,
and we're eating our vegetables, and it's like such a celebration, right? Yeah. Over something so small.
Yeah. And I'll warn you, when you start to feel happy and high all the time, like high on life, other people are going to get really annoyed with you.
So annoyed.
So you have to find like someone that gets it.
Who wears like random like happy, like why do only like 4-year-olds get to wear these? I think they should be for grown-ups.
It should be for everyone.
It fits my head, so I figure that means I'm allowed to.
So find people like us who will celebrate your happiness with you.
And hey, if you're in the Vancouver area, should we tell them?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you're in the Vancouver area, we are starting a Get Happy group.
It's going to be a Get Happy party every week. Once a week on a Thursday.
Yep.
Starting January 19th. That's the kickoff. It is going to be a drop-in group where you can just show up, have a great time, and learn how to be happy and how to keep that happiness for the entire week.
Right. And
until the next week.
Be around other people who are doing the same thing. Because we found that so valuable. Is because if one person's trying to do this on their own, like even one other person can discourage you. But I know when I get down, I'm like, but what would Jena say about that, right? What would Jena and I, when we talk about that, what would we say? And we just remind each other.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to have a physical space for you to come to celebrate that and to meet us in person and to be part of our group. So that is happening.
So we're going to need to put the details somewhere. They'll be on our Facebook pages and on our websites.
Right. So our website is
JenaMarcy.com.
and talktosaira.com. So either one of those, or Facebook page is Dr. Saira, DrSaira.
And Jena Marcy.
Yeah. So check us out. Join our group. If you have difficulties finding us or whatever, I guess you could leave a comment on the YouTube.
Yeah,
totally. Or something.
Yeah.
We'll find you. Find us, we'll find you, and join our group. And just be willing to set that big goal.
Yes.
Right?
And even if the big goal is just happiness, that's
enough. That's enough. Isn't that what we're all trying to get to? Oh, we were also on TV. So, so we have, is it on this YouTube channel?
It's on our YouTube channel, and it's on my website.
Yeah.
Is it on your website?
Not yet.
Okay.
So it's the Harpreet Singh Show, and we actually talk specifically about happiness. In that episode. So since we're talking about big goals and happiness, you might want to check that out too.
So this is going to be the Get Happy Party.
Get Happy Party. Every week, Thursday nights.
The kickoff party is January 19th. It's drop-in. It's by donation.
Yeah. And it's in person for now.
In person for now, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're in the Vancouver area and you want to join us, we would love to have you. It's in Surrey. For now. And we'd love to have you. And if you have any questions or whatever, send us a note and we'll let you know. So we'll send you more details on our website and all that. We'll set all that up.
It's going to be at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m.
to 8.
Yeah. Yeah. January 19th is the party. So come for the party and then we'll tell you all the details there.
Yeah. And it'll be every week from there on out.
Forever until we get bored.
Forever and ever and ever until something better comes along.
This or something better.
Exactly.
Great. That was super fun.
I know. Right?
Oh,
As always.
As always. And we will see you next week. Oh, share. Please share this with people in your life who are thinking about New Year's and thinking about resolutions and thinking about next steps. We want you to be able to set big goals for 2017, not just...
And stick it out until they come true, because they will come true. Your big dreams will come true.
Right. Your job is to stay happy.
Stay happy. Chill out. Let it all in.
Another tagline. Chill out. Let it all in. All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. Not that nasty.
No. I can stay at the door.
So we'll see you next week. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
That's it. Bye.